Parenting in the pandemic. This is new territory for most, juggling remote learning, Zoom meetings, breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything in between, with stress and anxiety reaching record levels.
Right, that just made me anxious hearing you say that. All right, not to worry though, today we have a licensed clinical social worker and Maven parenting coach, Mercedes Samudio, with some tips on helping you avoid burnout. So thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And before we begin, you're a parenting coach. Actually, TJ was just asking about this. That's a new term for a lot of people, so tell us what it is.
Yeah, a parenting coach, like what I do in my private practice and through Maven Clinic, is a professional who supports parents in developing their identity and their unique parenting style so they can raise whole, healthy children.
All right, so what are you seeing so far as you coach these parents? What are you seeing as one of the biggest, I guess, stress-inducing issues for them with kids, of course, and work? They're trying to balance it all.
Yeah, so the first thing I'm seeing is they're trying to manage it all and juggle a full-time schedule, which can be really difficult because this is a really new situation for a lot of parents and for children. And so many of us don't already have skills and strategies and organization around that. I'm also seeing parents are overwhelmed with scheduling. They've never really had to worry about their kids' school schedule before because they send the kids to school, then they go to work. And so now they're having to manage meetings, virtual learning, and everything else that goes under keeping kids safe and healthy. And then lastly, sometimes things just don't work out well. Technology, as we all know, is really unpredictable. And so I think that's also a huge stress for a lot of parents, that even through juggling all of this, they're still finding times when things aren't working, things are slower, or things are just completely out of their control.
Yeah, and so Mercedes, I know you have some tips for parents out there dealing with anxiety and stress, how to manage it all. So what are they?
Yeah, so the first one is really important, and that is be flexible. Things are going to definitely change from week to week, and so you have to be flexible and open to assessing, reassessing, and shifting things as needed. The next is to really set a regular check-in with your family. I think it's really important to sit down with everybody at least once a week minimum and say, how are things going? How are you doing? What do you need help with? And using that information to really think about how you can make changes for the next week. And then lastly, really find time to take a break. We made a big deal about self-care prior to the pandemic, and now it's so important for us to do that now. Take time for yourself, rejuvenate, and model that for your children as well.
And Mercedes, look, the fact of the matter is the economy is uncertain right now. There have been a lot of job losses in this country and a lot of people trying to balance what's going on at home with holding on to that job a lot of ways. How are you supposed to talk to your employer in a delicate way? You don't want to jeopardize your job by saying, hey, I might have to spend a little more time at home. How do you have that conversation with your employer?
Yeah, I think number one, you want to be clear about your family's schedule. And I think also talking to your employer about the kind of unpredictability of all of this. Let them know that things may change with the school or things just might change in your family, and really asking your employers what's the protocol for letting them know about changes to schedule. I think it's also important to set clear expectations with your supervisor. Make sure that you have weekly meetings or bi-weekly meetings where you and your supervisor are very clear about what you're supposed to be doing, how things are supposed to be going, and what's the difference between your daily, weekly, and monthly responsibilities. You also want to make sure that you're hitting the goals of your employer as well, because they always love that. And then lastly, check in with your supervisor frequently. I think now that we're all virtual, it's really important to set some time aside to email, text, Slack, or do anything that you need to do. And always think, if I can't get the support that I need, you can always reach out to any type of people who will help you. For instance, a parent coach or someone who is a licensed professional, like at Maven Clinic.
Yes, we can all use a little bit or a lot of help these days. Mercedes, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate all those tips.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.